If you took out your stomach and replaced it with a cow.
What? Come on, who's thinking about this stuff? Pain where it absolutely shouldn't be, a heinous head injury that somehow wasn't noticed, and you know what I always say, don't pull it out. Today we are breaking down and reacting to all of the most bizarre viral medical clips from Zack D Films. Let's dive right in.
The chainsaw kicked back and lodged in his skin, stopping just short of a major artery.
Major. This happens. I've worked at many trauma centers to where you see people with chainsaw injuries, especially ones that kick back at you. That is a common area, the neck or the face or the head. Zack D Films does a good job. You got your jugular vein and your carotid artery.
Rescuers rushed to help, but removing the chainsaw would have caused him to bleed out in seconds.
Have you not watched my show enough to know what I'm gonna say? Don't pull it out.
We went over this like for half an hour.
It is such a reflex as a human to grab it and try to pull it out right away. Do not.
They left it in place, carefully holding it steady as they took him to the hospital. And finally, surgeons were able to remove it, saving the man's life.
Taking it out when you're in the operating room. Surgeons there, so that way if there is a potential cut in the major blood vessel, they're able to fix it right away. They use very small sutures, very small instruments to be able to hold on to the small vessel as well as their suture material or needle and repair it. Then they're going to repair the soft tissue as well.
If you grew to over 1,000 pounds, the pressure from your own body would start to crush on your internal organs, making it hard to eat. But if you did manage to keep gaining weight, lying down would flatten your lungs.
You have subcutaneous fat under the skin. You also have visceral fat around the organs. You could have difficulty having space for your organs, but then you have obesity, hypoventilation syndrome, or something called Pickwickian syndrome.
Pound for pound, your bones are actually stronger than concrete, meaning you'd have to weigh a massive 1,800 pounds before your skeleton would just collapse.
When we see people who are significantly obese, we see a lot of joint problems. You're starting to get early arthritis. The bones are growing on the side. You're getting osteophyte formations, worsening pains in joints, prevents you from walking, almost like a catch-22. Your joints get so bad that you can't move. So then as you don't move, you're not burning any calories, thus making your weight problem even worse.
If you took out your stomach and replaced it with a cow.
What? Come on, who's thinking about this stuff?
Come on! Could you eat and digest grass?
Who's eating this grass like that on the ground? You just watched that and now your brain is doing the thing. 1 minute you're watching a weird medical video. The next minute you're thinking, wait, could that happen to me? So you grab your phone and Google it. 10 minutes later, you've convinced yourself it's something rare, serious, and probably urgent. As an ER doctor, I see this all the time. Not because people are overreacting, but because getting real answers from a real doctor isn't always easy. Finding someone who takes your insurance, has good reviews, and can actually see you soon can feel like a full-time job. Instead of guessing, you can book an appointment in minutes. That's why today's sponsor is Zocdoc. Zocdoc is a completely free website that helps you find and book high quality in-network doctors near you. There are over 150,000 providers across all 50 states covering more than 200 specialties. So you're not just stuck choosing whatever option you happen to come across. You can actually find someone who feels right for you. You can filter by insurance, location, specialty, or even specific symptoms. And you can read verified patient reviews so you know what to expect before you walk in the door. Need to be seen quickly?
Immediately.
You can see real-time availability and book instantly. No calling offices, no waiting on hold, no back and forth scheduling. Many appointments are available within 24 to 72 hours, sometimes even same day. Because when something's bothering you, waiting around and figuring it all out shouldn't be the hardest part. And I'm saying that because I don't want you sitting there overthinking something or carrying it longer than you have to. Go to the link on the screen or in the description, zocdoc.com/DrER, to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. Take a few minutes for yourself, seriously. It's worth it and your health is worth it.
Your abdomen would swell to the size of a water heater, and that's because cow stomachs actually have 4 chambers.
How cool is that?
You would have to eat several pounds of grass a day.
Grass in general is extremely hard to break down. Humans cannot break it down because of cellulose.
Chewing it and swallowing it, then burping it back up to chew again.
Regurgitation.
Regurgitating.
Our esophagus is not designed for that. We know that nobody likes to vomit. It hurts hurts, it burns, increase the risk of esophageal cancer.
All that grass sitting in one of your stomachs would create about 50 gallons of methane gas every day.
Whoa, I feel like I do that now. No, I'm just kidding. A lot of people fart, but a lot of people don't fart, and you're just gonna have a significant amount of distension, abdominal discomfort. You're gonna be stretching tissue to an extreme that you're not really expected to. It's gonna cause a lot of issues.
The stray bullet struck him in the head, but he shrugged it off and kept on partying. He didn't even realize he had been shot.
Interesting. We do get stories like this, not just bullets, but injuries to the head, nail guns, nail going into somebody's skull, just missing certain parts of the brain.
A few days later, his arm started twitching uncontrollably. Confused, he rushed to the hospital, where doctors discovered the bullet. But it just happened to miss the vital areas of his brain, meaning he was okay.
The arm discomfort could be due to swelling versus a direct injury to that area. That's maybe why it was delayed, because there wasn't significant swelling right away. One of the indications to remove a bullet, typically if it's in your brain tissue, spinal cord, or if it's in a joint. Doctors would go in to attempt to get this removed, and you'd have a neurosurgeon do that for you.
As they cut open his chest, he started bleeding severely. And to keep him alive, they pumped him full of donated blood.
Sometimes you have vessels in weird areas. Not everybody is designed exactly the same. You might have hit a vessel and you had so much bleeding that you need to give blood. So you give packed RBCs versus whole blood. Typically don't give that often. Usually use separated components. You might need plasma, platelets, cryoprecipitate. There's a lot of different things you might need.
Ended up saving him. Because of this, he promised to donate his blood once he was old enough.
I have donated blood once. I stopped because I have a really rare blood type that I can only give to people who have the same rare blood type as myself, which is a small percentage of the population, AB positive, which is a universal acceptor. That same population can get blood from any other blood type.
When he did start donating, doctors discovered a rare antibody that could prevent diseases during pregnancy.
Interesting.
Interesting.
What they're talking about is the anti-D antibody. We have a shot called Rogam that we give to pregnant women who might be negative blood type. The baby might be a positive. The mother might develop antibodies against that positive blood and attack it, which can lead to anemia, diseases, and even death.
The next 50 years, he donated every 2 weeks, enough for over 3 million doses of medicine, which ended up saving 2 million newborn babies, all because of donated blood.
Very cool, amazing. That's a lot of blood donation. How many of you out there donate blood? Let me know in the comments.
He snorted the paint up his nose.
Oh my gosh, what a good depiction though. You actually have 3 channels in your nose separated by bone, bone covered by mucous membranes.
Held his breath and blew air upward. This pushed the paint up through small tubes that connects the nose and the eyes until it reached his tear ducts.
So this actually happens when we have somebody who has a really bad nosebleed. We actually can see it go backwards through your tear ducts, out your eyes, and you're actually crying bloody tears.
The paint came out of his eyes and dripped straight onto the canvas below. You see, as a child, he learned air and liquid could pass from his nose to his eye, and years later, he turned that trick into art.
You shouldn't be having paint in your eyes. That can cause massive injuries. It might actually break down the tissue of the sclera, which is over the whites of the eyes. Definitely it's going to cause irritation to your cornea, which is the cells covering the colored parts of your eyes. Irritant to your mucous membranes, so it can break them down, maybe cause bleeding.
Eventually, he became a world-famous painter, selling each painting for thousands. But this can cause serious damage to your eyes, so you probably shouldn't try it.
Sometimes you can get infections into these areas called dactylocystitis, which require heavy antibiotics. You can also have dysfunction of the tear ducts, which actually will lead to drying of your eyes.
You could stuff a tire in your mouth.
Stop it. Don't even try this. No, I don't even believe this can happen. Don't do it. Not worth it.
If your cheeks were like a hamster's, that's because you would have an extra 2.5 square feet of skin that would be able to stretch to your shoulders.
Very cool that small little rodents, animals can be able to put a lot of food in their cheeks like the squirrel, but humans were not designed to do that. We puff out our cheeks to a certain amount, but there's a lot of muscle there that prevents that from happening.
With so much space space, you could fit over 60 Big Macs. And with all that food, your mouth would need to make 7 cups of saliva.
Oh, how gross is that? Who are saliva phobes? I think I just made up that word.
Who was made up?
Let me know in the comments if that's one of your pet peeves. A lot of people in medicine are like anti-saliva. Respiratory therapists can handle it, and most people in the emergency department have no problem with it.
He grew all the way to 7'7",
Whoa.
and people were so fascinated by his height that they started bidding for his body before he even died.
This person probably had gigantism, which is a inappropriate amount of growth hormones created by your pituitary, which was caused by a pituitary tumor. It happens at childhood while your growth plates are open, similar to acromegaly, but acromegaly occurs in adults.
Back then, doctors would buy corpses to cut them open and see how they worked.
Yes, they did. Sometimes they bought them. Sometimes there was a bad industry of grave robbing. They wanted to learn about the human body. It wasn't like it is now where there was like a lot of donations for cadaver lab at all the major universities.
If you were blind, you could put on these glasses that record everything in front of you through a tiny camera,
Cool.
which sends the signals into the device on your tongue.
What?
What?
Interesting. I wonder if this is used for somebody who's already seen objects. I wonder if all that saliva that you make is going to get messed up because now you have a device in your mouth.
Your tongue has some of the most sensitive nerves on your body, and the tiny zaps would create patterns that you could actually feel.
Might actually be increasing the production of saliva, might cause irritation or chronic changes to your tongue as well. I have a lot of questions about this, obviously.
Oh, hey, I got another question there.
With practice, your brain can learn to interpret them as shapes and objects, letting you walk safely through a doorway using your tongue instead of your eyes.
How many of you would be walking around with a plate on top of your tongue getting zapped to be able to see vision? Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. All of these are super cool. Zack D Films does a great job. If you guys enjoyed this and you want more Zack D Film clips, let me know in the comments. And as always, do me a favor, check out this playlist right here. Binge watch it all for me. Keep this channel growing. Make sure you subscribe, turn on your bell notifications, and hit that like button for me. Thank you so much for watching, and stay healthy, my friends.